I made it through the darkest part of the night, and now I see the sunrise. Now I feel glorious, glorious. I feel glorious, glorious. We gon' be alright, put that on my life. When I open my eyes, hope I see you shine. We're planting our flag, they don't understand. The world is up for grabs. We gon' be alright, put that on my life. When I open my eyes, hope I see you shine. We're planting our flag, they don't understand. The world is up for grabs. I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I made it through the darkest part of the night, and now I see the sunrise. Now I feel glorious, glorious. I feel glorious, glorious.
This year, for Battle of the Classes Battling for a Cause, we are fundraising for Smile Train, a global organization, and Hagedorn Cleft Palate and Craniofacial Center, which is a local organization based in New Hyde Park.
Since 1999, Smile Train has focused on one serious but solvable problem: providing the same opportunities to the millions of children around the world born with clefts as those born without. Using the Teach a Man to Fish model, we empower local doctors to perform cleft lip and palate repair surgery in their communities. The commitment of thousands of medical professionals makes it possible for Smile Train to train other doctors, creating a long-term, sustainable system. Through this effective approach, with roughly one surgery every 5 minutes performed by more than 2,100 local surgeons every year, Smile Train has quickly created more than 1 million beautiful smiles, making both these children's lives and our world a lot brighter. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Gerard Ovationado was born on January 5, 2016 with a cleft lip palate. This is a genetic complication that 1 in 650 babies are born with.
My name is Walter Ovationado. I am a 2003 alumni of Carle Place High School. Currently married with my wife Megan and my son Gerard, who was born with a cleft lip, bilateral cleft lip and palate. Cleft palate is basically an opening in the upper part of your mouth. So if you were to run your tongue against the top of your mouth, you would feel a hard part and then you would feel a soft part. When there's a child that's born with a cleft palate, both of those things are open and they're not completely sealed. And there's other examples as well. There's a unilateral cleft lip where there's a lip that's not sealed on one side. There's also a bilateral cleft lip, which Gerard was also born with. So he had both openings on the side and a premaxilla in the middle. So basically, those are the brief types of cleft palate. So basically, it's an opening in the mouth that's not sealed upon birth. The 20-week sonogram, when you go in, you're very happy and excited to see the baby, and then more and more doctors come in, and all of a sudden, your world changes in a heartbeat. The next day we were at doctor after doctor going through all kinds of steps to make sure that everything else was okay, because sometimes a cleft lip or palate can lead to other genetic deformities that we're not sure of, or other things that can happen. So we found out about 20 weeks, and 20 weeks and 1 day later we said this is our son, and we were happy, and we made it our cause kind of after that.
Well, when he called me and he told me, and I saw how devastated he was. It was the first day. He called me, and then he was very upset. Later on, they embrace it with all this love for the child. But for the love they have for the child, it was terrible. I couldn't sleep that night. I think I was praying all night for his health and loving him, that little 20-week-old little baby. Who was my grandson. I think that I started to love him more and more. And I knew that he was going to need all of us. And his parents were going to need us.
When he was born, plastic surgeons come in and out, and probably 15, 20 doctors see him instantly. He went right into the NICU, which was standard, to make sure he was, breathing okay, and checking him out to see if anything else was going on. And then from there, every Thursday, my wife took him to Cobham Children's Hospital in the orthodontic suite, and he was fitted with a device called a NAM. And basically, what that does is it covers the palate so that it grows on its own, because it's still living tissue, and everything kind of will start to close together. And also, because he had a bilateral cleft lip, they also had to put nasal prongs in and actually lower his premaxilla into position. So his first corrective surgery, it's much easier for the plastic surgeon when you bring everything together. First surgery at 5 months, and that was just to repair his lip. And then the second surgery was almost at a year old, and that's when they repaired his soft palate, and they put what's called a fixed obturator, and that's basically basically what the NAM was, but permanently fixed in with 4 screws, so to let everything kind of grow closer together. And then this past summer, he had his final surgery for now, where they removed the fixed obturator and they closed the hard palate, and it works beautifully. You can't even tell. It looks better than the average everyday palates. It's a work of art. And then his next surgery won't be until right before kindergarten. where they'll take a piece of his hip bone and put it into his jaw, because the jaw lines are still clefted in the inside. And then they'll put the bone in, and then the teeth will grow, and then from there, braces and maybe another surgery after that.
We don't know as many kids. It's not visible among us. And I was thinking, with all this, I wonder how many students had cleft lip and palate. How many? And we never realize it. We just see like a little thing in the lip, but we take it for granted because they speak well, because they behave normally. But imagine if those children wouldn't have the surgery, how terrible their lives could be. When you come from third world countries and you have seen them growing into men and women, and they can hardly say a word, they are very nasal, they can hardly eat, and many of them don't get to the adult age because they don't have the nutrition, they cannot be fed accordingly. People make fun of them. They are victims of bullying. They are victims of society.
I think it's awesome. It's absolutely incredible that you guys are doing this, because it's not a cause that is usually fundraised for, but it affects so many children, and you're giving opportunities galore to kids and out of the country with Smile Train and even Hagedorn. You're improving the lives of so many people. You're relieving the stress of so many parents who handle everything so differently, and both of these organizations are just absolute wonderful gems, both for Smile Train out of the country and for Hagedorn. It's a pride and joy of Long Island, and just how many people they help every year is absolutely incredible.
Turn the crowd